is Brittany Janae, and in today's video, we're going to talk about blame, shame, game, right? Because in America, our president is a convicted felon. As we know, a lot of criminals like to blame others because they lack accountability, shame you, then game, and run away. Donald Trump released that AI video of Barack Obama essentially getting arrested in prison. It's an AI video, fake video, whatever, right? So this is all because I'm going to read an article from Politico.com. So the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, called for several Obama administration officials to face criminal prosecution for participating in treasonous conspiracy surrounding the 2016 election. On Friday afternoon, the latest example of Trump administration targeting critics of the president. Basically, if y'all don't know, so back in 2016, they tried to say that the Russians basically infiltrated the election and dumped Trump. Donald Trump had connections and foreign influence basically on his election. And so I believe there was an investigation that was conducted and there was no grounds that was found that Donald Trump had foreign influence that interfered with the election. But I'm just going to continue to read this article. So in a newly declassified report, Gabbard on Friday alleged that officials manipulated and withheld key intelligence from the public related to the possibility of Russian interference in the election. In a Friday afternoon statement, Gabbard said that she will provide all related documents to the Justice Department to deliver the accountability that President Donald Trump, his family, and the American people deserve. No matter how powerful, every person involved in this conspiracy must be investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law to ensure nothing like this ever happens again, Gabbard said in a statement. The Department of Justice declined to comment. The ODNI memo names James Clapper, John Brennan, James Comey, and other people who are allegedly involved in the White House review of possible Russian meddling in the election, right? So I'm not going to go all the way into the details. So blame, shame, game, right? I feel like this all is really just a scheme. I know I keep saying that. I think this is Donald Trump's way of trying to deflect from the Epstein file scandal because he's like kind of deflecting and now saying it's stupid. And so what better way to try to distract the American people by like trying to blame Barack Obama for basically committing conspiracy to commit a treason and also trying to like cause all this controversy and drama to distract us from the Epstein file, right? And then shame him by posting that fake deep video, that AI video, right? All just so because he does not, for whatever the reason is, the Trump administration does not want to release the Epstein file. And it kind of seems like, are you covering up for like some high elite people that's on this list? What is it that you don't want the American people to see, Mr. President? You know, and so that's just kind of like what I think personally. I'm going to put some clips out here so y'all can kind of see like what other people are saying in regards to this whole matter. Because I really just think he's just trying to deflect and just trying to distract the American people. Nothing more, nothing less. This is just nothing new because this was brought back up when he first was elected as president. So, girl, I don't know. Y'all take a look at this.
Hey, Anthony.
Yeah.
What do you think about Tulsi Gabbard's threats to prosecute Obama?
I mean, what better way to distract Trump's base from the Epstein files than by accusing the person they despise more than anyone else in the world of committing treason?
What's the alleged treason?
I mean, it's the same thing that they tried during the last election as well. They're essentially saying that because Obama's Justice Department ran an investigation into Trump during his initial candidacy, that Obama is somehow committing treason against the United States. The whole thing is a joke and was thoroughly dismissed by Republicans at the time and pretty much everybody else. The idea that running an investigation into corruption of a potential presidential candidate is somehow treason is kind of crazy anyways. To me personally, right, pretty much every potential presidential candidate should be investigated for foreign influence. And Trump especially had a large history of connections to foreign influence and Russia in specific. So running an investigation in him was the right thing for any intelligence department to do. That being said, the investigation that was run into Trump eventually came out as having no grounds. They were not able to find any evidence of tinkering in the 2016 election, and that is the information that was released to the public and Senate and all of that. So one, Trump was elected anyways, right? So if there was any interference, it clearly didn't work. Two, the investigation was clearly stated that there was no interference, so there were not any false claims made against Trump after the investigation concluded. And three, this has already been decided during the previous presidency. The only reason they're bringing this up again is, one, because Trump can't stand to have any criticism of himself because he's a malignant narcissist, and two, because there's nobody that Trump's base hates more than the black man that dared to become president. This is what the Trump administration thinks is their best shot at distracting them from the fact that the Trump administration is at best protecting PDF files by not releasing the Epstein files, or at worst protecting Trump himself because he's in the Epstein files. The whole thing is extremely obvious to pretty much anybody, and even in conservative communities, I see a lot of skepticism about this information being released now. We'll see how long that stays and if the distraction is effective or not, but I don't think there's any actual merit to the claims themselves or anything that will come of it.
Back to the breaking news we brought you off the top. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard declassifying documents that show a, quote, treasonous conspiracy at the highest levels of the Obama administration to manufacture a narrative that Russia was trying to influence the 2016 presidential election. New York Congressman Mike Lawler joins us now. Congressman, it's great to have you on the program. This just broke about an hour or so ago that DNI Gabbard released these documents in a timeline that is incredibly fascinating. To some extent, Congressman, even as early as earlier this week, we broke down and asked the question of whether or not there's not enough focus on President Obama when it comes to Russia, Russia, Russia. What Gabbard is sharing with us now is the day-by-day and minute-by-minute change in the intelligence community reports after they go to the White House to meet with Obama, wherein they change the narrative of Russia's involvement in our election.
Well, it's extremely disturbing at every level. And the fact is, President Obama needs to answer for this immediately. There needs to be a very clear and unequivocal answer to how this happened and why exactly his administration, in concert with the intelligence community, was changing reports to make it appear as though that Russia interfered in our elections and to further this entire scam that has been perpetrated on the American people to undermine his successor, President Trump. It is just fundamentally wrong, and everything that the American people have seen over the last decade since Donald Trump came onto the national political scene, it has been one event after the next in which Democrats and the intelligence community and the Department of Justice, institutions that are supposed to uphold our democracy, have frankly sought to undermine it at every turn.
And to some extent, I think for many of the audience listening, it is not maybe a revelation they haven't thought, heard, or researched on their own before. I think what's different now is that this is coming from the Director of National Intelligence, and there's specific information on a day-by-day basis of how this changed. And just for the record, so the audience knows, I mean, it looks like the critical moment was around December 9th of 2016. Prior to that occasion, most of the intelligence community was saying no Russia involvement. Around December 9th or December 8th, they go into a meeting with President Obama, come out, and an entirely different message emerges from the intelligence community about Russia's involvement in this election. And let us hope, Congressman, this is the start. And we should have already started, and we have started, but this is not the end of searching for accountability on Russia, Russia, Russia.
No, there needs to be accountability on this, and frankly, there has not been for years. You obviously had a special counsel appointed after James Comey was fired as FBI director. You get a special counsel that comes in, does a nearly 2-year investigation looking into every aspect of this, and the fact that this information was not uncovered, the fact that it was not part of the comprehensive report that made clear there was not Russian interference and that President Trump did not do anything wrong. And ultimately, those that were engaged in this, both in 2016 and again in 2020, when they tried to say that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, once again, they need to be held accountable. This is not how our elections should be decided. This is not how our government should be run. Those who have the highest levels of power and intelligence access need to be held accountable if they abuse it, and that's what it appears like happened here.
All right, so y'all see some of those clips. Some people do agree that this is just Trump's way of trying to deflect and cast blame on Barack Obama to take away from the fact that he doesn't want to release the Epstein file. So, anyways, y'all, that's all I got for this video. I'm still under the weather, but I still, like I said, want to make daily posts for you guys. And so this might be the only video for today. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe. My name is Brittany Janae, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Blame, shame, game. Y'all, that is like my thing. Whenever I see poor leadership skills. Okay.